Hey there, boils and ghouls. Today I will be sharing with you my response to a writing prompt that was created by Writing Prompts RE on Instagram, so please enjoy. The prompt is: you're kidnapped by a dark cult who sacrifices you to their eldritch god. When your soul arrives in the being's domain, the deity profusely apologizes. They offer to send you back, but only if you vow to get rid of the psychopaths who are slandering his good name with bloodshed. The following is my response. My formless soul still produces a fearful quiver in the presence of this inconceivable creature. I can feel its non-existent eyes peering at the nakedness of that which once composed my humanity. No words get wasted between this creature and I, but we still manage to speak in a way that the other understands. The eldritch god conveys its remorse with more sincerity than any human I had ever encountered before my untimely death. A false sense of understanding enters my mind, and just as quickly that my defenses had dropped, an icy coldness filled the air as this entity switched from sorrow to guttural malevolence. The ageless god spoke with restrained anger while it delivered its dark offer. My eyes glazed over as I considered the creature's words, and I could feel the creature's patience remained the same as more time passed. Time was no longer something to be considered in this environment, and the deity had all the time to spare. So with careful consideration, I soaked in the eldritch god's words, and my mind wandered with thought. As if the entity read my mind with practiced precision, I could feel the warm hatred resonate from the creature. My formless spirit slowly began to wallow amongst the ageless god's energy, and as my imaginary eyes narrowed, our sourceless gazes met. The atmosphere changed once more as the two found delight in the dark thoughts each was mulling over. I stared into the eldritch god's essence for a few moments as I worked up the courage to dare ask for some sort of blessing. I did not need to choke up the words as the deity projected a haunting smile, and he answered the question within my mind. You ask for something that few before you have even pondered, and although the opportunity to live again is more than most deserve, your request amuses me. If it motivates you to complete the task, I will grant you this one gift, should you succeed. Before I could even conceive any sort of response, my spirit got thrown through whatever cosmic matter separated my existence from this eldritch god's plane. I hit the concrete at a fatal speed, but some sort of primordial ooze protected my body before quickly flowing away, once again being left exposed to the harsh realities around me. I laid there on the cold, hard floor in an attempt to find my bearings until a burning pain drew my attention. I screamed out of shock, and my terrified eyes darted towards my burning chest. A single second felt like a lifetime as a physical seal of my promise was forged over my heart. After the deal was solidified, my tear-filled gaze lifted towards the dark sky as all the stars blurred into a mass of unfulfilled wishes. But in that moment, I knew what next steps I was supposed to take. As I awkwardly looked upon the newly formed sigil on my chest, I chuckled with amusement as understanding flowed into my mind. One mark for every soul that is owed to the eldritch god, and I quickly discover after my first target that the marks disappear with the death of those that offended the deity. After the first few kills, I started to perfect my hunting strategy and even found pleasure in making the fools squirm. It became a game of cat and mouse as they each stared into my eyes with disbelief, but that always changed into anger. Futile attempts were made to complete the sacrifice they thought the Eldritch God wanted, but once they were slowly driven into facing their own demise, their religious stubbornness shifted into fear, and then desperation to know more about the deity they worshipped. Every time they begged while I stared into their longing eyes and laughed. Eventually those games came to an end, and as I was staring into the last cult member's sad eyes, I stopped to wonder if the Eldritch God was watching this entire time. It pleased me to think about the possibility that the deity was getting any sort of delight from my actions, but ultimately, this was the last mark burned across my chest. So I indifferently shrugged my shoulders and finished the pact. As the last member screamed with fear and pain, I was instantly pulled back to the Eldritch God. I dizzily looked into the creature's formless body, and we both reached a place of understanding. I made his request a reality, and he kept his promise. I would no longer just be a pawn in an endless game. I finally stood beside a cosmic overseer. Well, that's it. You can find my response in a textual format on my Instagram, so go there if you'd like. And please let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for listening.